All right, we're talking district breakdown time, and it is 23-6A. I got my man Jon Poorman from the Houston Chronicle with us. Jon, you know who we normally talk about in this district is Shadow Creek, as they went through, they went through undefeated for the season, and they seem to be bringing back some serious speed as usual. I mean, that's nothing that's new to you, but they're bringing speed and athletes all over the place. Is this a team that could get that title again?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think going into this season that they are kind of the clear-cut favorites here. You look at what they did in district play last year, as you mentioned, going undefeated at 7-0. They finished 11-1 overall for the season, finished the regular season with a 10-0 record before winning a playoff game and ultimately losing to a really good Summer Creek team in the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, Coach Brad Butler and his staff have done a fantastic job with this program really since its inception. We all know about the state championship that they were able to win early on in the program's infancy. But yeah, they've just kind of continued that winning tradition down there. Obviously, you mentioned they have a number of talented players coming back, and it starts with their defensive leader, Maurice Williams. He was an LSU commit and flipped to Houston over the summer, so he's going to be staying home. But he's one of the top safety prospects in the country. And, he's really kind of the heart and soul of that defense. Offensively, they have a kid named Ja'Cory Watson who stepped up big time last year, filling in for injured quarterback Duke Butler. And he is just a great athlete. He is being recruited as a receiver, but, he's an excellent quarterback as well. And so, you look around, this roster that Shadow Creek is bringing back, and you got to like their chances.
Yeah, you talk about, and it was sad for Brad Butler because it was his son, Duke, that got hurt, but he did manage to maneuver through the schedule and still remain undefeated, mainly because they introduced us to the guy, Ja'Cory Watson, who we saw at the Elite 11. They brought him up there to run routes for the quarterbacks, which was pretty good honor for him, and that just shows you the kind of speed he has. But besides Shadow Creek, what are we looking at here? I think the two Pearland teams are going to be nipping at their tails for sure, right?
Yeah, definitely. This will be the second year for Pearland under Coach BJ Gott, who we all know won a state championship at Peyto before coming down to Pearland. So, I would definitely expect with a year under his belt now and with those players knowing the expectations that he has, I would expect some improvement out of that program for sure. And then you look at Dawson. They've got some talent as well. They played a really tough game against Shadow Creek last year in what was kind of the de facto district championship game. And, so I like what they're bringing back. So, I mean, I'm looking at those two teams as the primary challengers to the Sharks right now. And, for good reason.
You talk about those Pearland teams, but there's also a fourth playoff spot. And in my eyes, there's three teams fighting for it. Strake Jesuit, Alvin, and then A-Leaf Taylor, who got it last year. A lot of graduation with Strake and Taylor. Could this be the year that Alvin kind of jumps up and maybe gets that fourth spot, or where do you see that going?
Yeah, it definitely could be. They made significant strides last year. I felt like, we're competitive in this district. Obviously, you look at, the rest of this district going down the line. Strake Jesuit was obviously, competitive last year. Didn't get, all the results that they wanted, but as you mentioned, they graduated some pieces, including, their quarterback, Bryce Fusick, who, was a multi-year starter. So, it's kind of wide open there. You're looking at, the second, third, fourth playoff spots there after Shadow Creek. I think they're a lock, but, certainly Alvin could jump up and make a move and then get into that top four.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Like me and you both said, it's going to be battle at the top three, probably with Pearland, Dawson, and Shadow Creek. And I'm interested to see what BJ Gott does in the second year. It's probably his first full kind of off-season type deal. So we'll see how it turns out, and we'll talk with our last 6A district next week. We'll talk 24-6A.
Sounds good.